Hi, welcome back. So, I'm here today to talk to you guys about this new game coming out called Stray. The game's coming out July 19th on Steam and also on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, which I personally am going to be playing it on PlayStation 5. So, I've seen a lot of videos about this game, and I feel like there are a lot of cut and paste. So, I went a little bit deeper, and that's what we're going to be doing today, is taking another closer look at this game. So the tagline is lost, alone, and separated from family, a stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten cyber city and find their way home. This is developed by Blue 12 Studio, publisher Annapurna Interactive, which also did 12 Minutes, which I played. Fantastic, highly recommend, although it's a relatively short game. Okay, so let's talk about the game. The industry is calling this game a platformer. I've seen a lot of stuff, people calling it a platformer. In my opinion, it's not. I'll call it story-driven adventure. Apparently you can die in this game, although there is no actual direct combat. And the reason why I'm saying it's not a platformer is because the developers made it so that it's extremely difficult to mess up, if at all possible, the jumping from platform to platform. The movement. And so the things that make a platformer game what it is the potential to fail. This game doesn't really have that, but there is a lot of movement between platforms. When you start out in the game, you meet the cat. They're nameless, they're injured, they're by themselves in this strange city that is populated completely by robots, no humans. Their only objective is to navigate home. Eventually you meet a robot. The robot is named B12. I'm assuming that this is because of the developer's name for their studio, which is Blue 12 Studios. But the robot helps you with different things like it lights your way. It helps you manage your quest inventory. If you get lost, it reminds you what you're trying to do. These are very helpful things. It unlocks doors that are otherwise inaccessible. So one of the things about this game that do excite me is you get to be a cat. I was an avid reader of the Animorphs book series as a kid, and one of the things that you get to do as an Animorph is turn into animals. So in this game, you get to just be a cat, which involves licking yourself, scratching walls, or scratching the floor. It gives you like nice haptic feedback in the PlayStation controller. You can meow as loudly as you wish, wherever you want, to your heart's content. Kind of reminds me of the Goose Game in this regard, where you get to be the animal, annoy things like the animal, and you're sort of free from like being a human, really. But while you're trying to accomplish your goals of leaving the city, you get to be a cat. Go places the cats go. So the game didn't actually add any customization. You get to be a single cat. And I actually think the cat is based on the dev cat named Murtaugh. I could be mispronouncing it, but the cat looks identical. And they started developing this 2015 or earlier, so I think Murtaugh maybe he's gotten a little bit older, maybe a little bit chubbier. Still adorable, but I'm pretty sure that like the young Murtaugh is what they based the game cat off of. But it would be great to be able to make it any cat, like a black cat, a white cat, a fat cat, or whatever. They just don't have that. Also, there's no discussion on expansions for this game. They've only talked about the main game and pushing that out for release, so that's probably in the forefront of their minds. So let's do it. Let's take a closer look. The co-founders of the project are Kula and Viv. They were the first two developers on this game, which has been in development since before October 2015. They're listed in the Stray team on Twitter as co-founders, creatives, and design directors. Kula and Viv started the team as HK Project and rebranded to Blue 12 Studio. This was after they received funding April 2017. They rebranded in December 2017, and that was around the time when they hired 3 more people, bringing them to a total of 5 people at the time, and they've expanded since then. So up until April of 2017, I believe it was just Kula and Viv, and that's it. The dev blog on their HK dev blog page is in both English and in French. And the co-founders are actually both from the south of France. According to their Twitter profiles, they're in Montpellier, France, which is on the southeast coastline. Montpellier is also home to Musée Fabre and the University of Montpellier, which is a school with alumni such as Nostradamus. Wow, right? For two devs to end up in the same highly cultural city of great renown with alumni like Nostradamus, and then they just happen to end up working on a game that is based on yet another city, we'll get into this in a moment, with high cultural fascination and intrigue. It just can't be a coincidence. Per the PlayStation website, the neon city in the game is inspired, it is not completely based on, but is inspired by the Kowloon walled city. The game itself, now called Stray, was originally referred to as HK Project by the co-founders, and HK could stand for Hong Kong. I looked around, I didn't see any place where it's directly noted that that's what it is, but it could. The Kowloon walled city, let's talk about it. It was an enclave in British Hong Kong, leased to the United Kingdom in 1898. By the 1950s, it was run by the local Chinese triads with high rates of gambling, prostitution, drug usage. This was a bad place. The UK had jurisdiction over the city, but was mainly hands-off. They let the locals settle their own affairs, which probably worked for them, but I'm sure it didn't really work for China. So China eventually reclaimed their jurisdiction over the city due to rampant crime. By 1990, the city had 50,000 residents. By April 1994, the city was completely demolished. They started the demolishing process in 93, and the city was completely demolished by 1994. According to Wikipedia, a massive fire broke out in the Kowloon walled city in 1950. Yeah, okay, so short story time. This massive fire destroyed approximately 2,500 homes of squatters that had been living there for quite a while. It's hard to say. And the squatters' homes were primarily made of wood. As we know, in a lot of survival games, you start out your crafting stuff, maybe you start out with thatch. Generally, you start out with wood, maybe bamboo, but it's wood. That's where you begin. So these squatters made their homes of wood, just like we do in our games. But this is real. I'm actually not sure how they accounted for the number of homes that they're saying were destroyed, because who was even record keeping for the place? Did they have 2,500 people lodge complaints that their homes were destroyed? Where would they have even lodged them? I don't know. But the important part of the tale is that people believe the fire was intentionally set by the triads to make room for newcomers and additional developments to the city. So, rampant with crime. The triads ran the place, and they cleared out the deadwood when they felt it was necessary, monetarily speaking. That's roughly what this game is inspired by. Of course, the city in this game is all robots. So the devs also talk about design challenges. One of the early development challenges was setting up the correct collision for a cat, which is a quadruped as opposed to a biped, which has the head on top of the shoulders. With a quadruped, the head is in front of the shoulders. By collision, I'm actually referring to the detection by the program between the objects and the environment, as well as other objects. The collision detection is meant to stop objects from moving through each other. It's not good in real life, but it's fantastic in gaming. And gaming in virtual reality has to mimic real life. And so developers have to find out how to make collision work. And they use all kinds of algorithms to do this. And my head sort of exploded when I learned about this next piece here. I read about something called the Gilbert-Johnson-Kearthy algorithm, or GJK, commonly used algorithm in collision calculations inside game engines. Now, I don't know if they use GJK in Unreal Engine 4. Please let me know in the comments below if this is the case. I actually have no idea. But to put this algorithm simply in my own terms as a layman, because I'm not the calculus major, It uses two-dimensional Euclidean geometry calculations to quantify movements through space from point A to point B. Euclidean geometry meaning geometry of triangles, circles, and squares, as decided by Euclid. So thank goodness they have these algorithms to figure this stuff out so that they can put it into their system and make it work, but they still have to take the component parts, tell a computer like this is what it has to do. I can only imagine how difficult all of this is. The game was originally slated to be released October 2021. They pushed it back to this July, and I'm assuming that that's why they're not going to be waiting and taking all the time and money and effort and trying to get the game to run through Unreal Engine 5, which I've heard a lot of games are currently doing, like the day before, for instance. They're going to be keeping the project in Unreal Engine 4 and releasing it in a timely manner. If you pre-purchase the game, it's 10% off. So $30, 10% off of that. That's $3, $27. And that's for a game that is, per the director of the game, a maximum of 7 to 8 hours for the game, and then 10 hours if you really look everywhere and explore the entire game. So it's $30 with a discount for a maximum 10-hour game. Like I said, the same as 12 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me on this in-depth look. You can see the full written article on my Patreon, links below. I'll be playing this game as a playthrough on this channel, so check it out, and I'll see you soon. Bye.